Hello, hello. So this video is going to show you the standing posture sequence as well as the standing balance sequence. And there'll be two progressions that I'll show you. Okay, so you'll need either two bricks that can come up to a good height, or you could use the seat of a chair. And I'll use the first progression to show you with the bricks. And then I'll show you the second progression with the chair. And you could use one of the two when you come to a live class in February. Okay. So first progression of this, we're going to start standing at the back of the mat. And let me tilt this up a little bit so you can see me better. So starting at the back of the mat, and the first side, my back is going to be facing you. But just listen to the directions that I'm describing, and hopefully that will be clear for you. So standing at the back of your mat, you want to turn towards the left side of your mat. Turning to the left. And you'll step your feet out wide. Now we're going to take our heels in, toes out. Right, so a little bit of external rotation. And we're going to do a prep for what's called skandasana, or half squat. So you're going to squat into your back leg here, and I'm going to pick my foot up and flex so that my heel is going to be touching the ground. And then I'm going to stand back up. But let's do that 4 more times. You can breathe in as you sit back and down. Breathe out as you stand up. And what we want to do is keep the heel rooted. And we want to keep the spine long. So even though my bum is going back, I'm not collapsing my chest. Let's do one more. Maybe we pause here for a couple of breaths. Okay, coming back up. You're going to come into warrior 2 now, pointing your front toes towards the front edge of the mat. Back toes in, and I'd like you to lunge into your front leg. So this is my right leg now that is forward. And I'm going to extend my arms out. We'll come into extended angled pose. So my front forearm is going to come to my thigh here. My back arm, I'm going to flick the palm up towards the ceiling and reach it up and over. Now we want to make sure that we're not collapsing our chest or our spine down. We're really lengthening and opening the chest up towards the ceiling. Okay, I'm going to bring my hands all the way to the ground, or bricks if I have them. Bricks are really helpful. And come into a low lunge. And then you're going to walk your bricks forward, your hands forward, drop your head and lift your back leg. So we're in a standing split. Now really all I want you to think about is rooting down through your standing leg and really reaching up and back through your toes. Doesn't matter how high your leg is. Okay, and then we step the feet together, bend the knees, and we'll roll on up to standing. Okay, turn to the right side of your space and step your feet wide. We'll turn our toes out, heels in. And we'll take that skandasana prep on the other side. So about 5 reps of this. Breathing in as you sit back, flex your front foot. Breathe out as you stand up. Again, we're really trying to isolate lower body, so not disturbing the upper spine. And the next rep will stay for a couple of breaths. I like to bring my palms onto the roof. That just helps me stay close into myself and supported. And then we'll stand up. Point your front toes towards the front edge, back toes in, Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. From here, extended angle pose, also known as Parsvakonasana. Forearm to thigh, back arm sweeps up and overhead. Notice that my palm is down. If the palm is up, you might feel a little bit too much tension in your top arm. With the palm down, The arm can really slot in the shoulder socket a bit better and make the stretch a little bit easier. We're going to bring our hands down to our bricks, pivot onto the back foot, and then come into a standing split. We're going to move back a little bit here. But I'm going to lift my back leg up, and my hands have walked forward enough to give me some space underneath so that I can actually drop my spine and reach through my toes. I'm trying not to open my hip too much. I'm trying to just gently draw my top hip down a little bit as I reach my toes. And then step the feet together, bend the knees, roll up. Okay, so we're going to take our next progression, and I'm going to show you with a chair now. If you don't have a chair, just use your bricks. Okay, so the first side, we turn to the left, and we step our feet wide. Turn the toes out, heels in. And so we're just going to lunge into the back leg, flex the front foot, and you could stay in this half squat here, or you could bring the hands down and come a little bit lower. You could even lift the heel up here. And so you could play a little bit with movement. You could also stay very still and just think about opening up through the inner thighs, maintaining a long spine here. And then we'll come all the way back up to standing, so keep that in mind. Coming into warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2, back toes in. And from here, we're gonna go right away into our half moon shape. So, remembering that we did this on our hands and knees in the warm-up video, you're gonna shift the weight into your front foot, bring your hand to the seat of your chair or to your brick on the highest height, and then lift the back leg up. And you want to have your hand a little bit off to the side so you've got kind of a wider support here. Okay, a couple more breaths here. We want to try not to arc through the spine. Try to feel like you're between those two panes of glass here. Leg is about hip height. We're not trying to lift it higher than that. And then we're going to step back into the warrior two. Now let's come into our standing split once again. So if you wanted to do it with a chair, you have a little bit more support. You could even put your elbows down, lift the leg up. This is another version of that. And then step your feet together, bend the knees, roll up, stand. And then from here, we're going to lift now the opposite knee up. Okay, so I had my right foot forward. I'm now going to bring the right knee in towards chest. And I'm going to take warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. So that's with my hips and my chest parallel to the front edge of my mat. And my leg is parallel too. So I'm reaching the leg back, middle of my back thigh, up towards the ceiling. And so from here, we have an opportunity to take a revolved half moon, Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana. So I'm going to turn my chest to the left, maybe reach the arm up towards the ceiling. For me, the range of motion is a little bit more off to the diagonal. So not trying to force anything. Okay, we'll take a couple of breaths. This is a challenging posture, so be mindful, be gentle with yourself, and then set the hand down, feet down, standing all the way up. Okay, so we move into our standing balances. So I'm gonna pick up my left foot now. We keep switching sides. Left ankle, I'm gonna catch, and I'm just gonna hold this here for a little quad stretch. So I'm drawing the heel towards my bum, lightly pressing my pelvis forward. And then I'm going to cross my left ankle over my right thigh. So I'll show you from the front. Cross your left ankle over right thigh, flex the foot. Palm center of chest as you sit back into a figure 4 balance. Okay, now we'll come in and out of this a couple of times. I think that's good for our range of motion as well as our actual balance and being able to adapt to movement. Okay, I'm going to show you from the side as I do this. I'm sitting my hip back, keeping my chest lifted. And then we'll sit and hold. You could stay here for a couple breaths or bring the hands all the way to the ground. Dropping the spine and then rolling back up. Okay, and then we'll step the feet together. So that's the whole sequence. We'll do this on the other side now. So turn to face the right side of your mat and then take your feet wide. Both toes turn out, both heels in. And right away, we're going to move towards Skandasana, that half squat. So I really want you to stay in a range of motion that feels comfortable for you, but also helps you stay present with what you're doing. So if it feels good to challenge it a little bit, and just be mindful as you do it. So I might take my hands to the ground, my heel's gonna lift, and I might play with this here. So you could bring some movement in. You could also kind of try and find some form and structure. So kind of hugging in through the inner thighs, keeping the chest lifted. And then we're going to come back up. So remembering that we're coming back up the way we came. And we'll come into warrior 2 now. So I've got my left foot forward now. And right away, we're going to come into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. So shift the weights, hand comes to the seat, and we lift the back leg up. Now, as you do this, there could be the temptation to really arch the spine. I'll invite you to very gently imagine the 2 panes of glass. And what can help is to really think the back of your body is quite broad here. Imagine you're floating. Okay, we'll step back, give ourselves some room, and then we'll take it into standing split. So you could have your forearms to the seat. You can lift the back leg up. If you want to try bringing your hands to the ground, that's also an option. And then we'll step the feet together and I'll roll on up. Okay, so now we're going to lift the left knee up and kick back towards warrior 3. So I kick back towards warrior 3 and I bring my hands to the seat. If you're newer to all these movements, having a chair I think is the best option because it really lifts you away from the ground. So you've got some space to do this. Now we're going to take Pavarita Ardha Chandrasana, so revolved half moon. You might have the hand to chest or shoulder, but you're twisting towards your standing leg. So this is our right leg in this case. Lifting on up. Okay, this is a very challenging posture. You might find it helpful actually to come down to your forearm as you do this. Okay, we'll bring the hand down, step the feet together, rise on up. And then standing balance. So the foot that I was just stood on, which is my right foot in this case, I'm gonna pick the heel up, catch the foot, and give myself a little quad stretch. So you could let this be a kind of quiet standing balance. And then we take the figure 4 balance. So I cross my flexed ankle over my left thigh, and I sit the hips back. And I'll do this a couple times. So I like to bring movement in because it allows us to not get too stiff with the spine. Even though there's structure to everything that we're doing, there's still a sense of adaptability and breath and life moving through it. Woo. And as you can see, for me, balancing on my other foot here, my left foot, is a bit challenging, but it's okay. You just jump right back in. Okay, next round, you could sit and hold, and you might stay here with your gaze down and forward, or you could bring the hands to the ground on the inside of this foot. And then we'll stand all the way back up, nice and easy. Step the feet together. The final balance we'll do is feet together, rise into the balls of the feet and reach the arms forward. And then play with squatting straight down, knees gliding forward, tail straight down, and only coming down as far as we might come back up. So take a breath here, feel that support from underneath. And then rise back up and reach the arms overhead. And release. Okay, separate your feet. Take a moment, hand to heart, one to low belly. Just reminding yourself that you can soften. You can let that go and take a few breaths. Remembering, especially in this moment, we've done some really challenging postures. Remember that you are not these postures. You are something greater, fuller, more complex. And with that, just know that you can let go of any struggle to achieve anything. Just see it as a curious experiment. What happens if I lift my leg? What happens if I balance on this leg? Bringing a sense of play and curiosity to your work. And release the arms, let the eyes open. Okay. So that was our standing posture and standing balance sequence. Do let me know if you have any questions. You can send me an email or send me a message via my contact page on my website. And I look forward to connecting and seeing you in a live class. Take care.